What's up, Cameron? How you doing?
What's going on, Raj? I'm pretty good. How
Not
about
too
you?
much. Doing good. What you been doing during all this extended time off you got?
Yeah, man, it's been weird. We're in a weird time right now, that's for sure. I'm used to going out to eat with Shelby all the time. Going to our favorite restaurants and stuff. We can't even do that. We've been doing a lot of takeout and stuff like that. But no, I was riding a ton of motocross for a while because luckily, man, our tracks up here up north, we're like the only people open. Our tracks were the only tracks open. So I've been riding quite a bit, riding some 110s in the backyard and stuff like that, hanging out with family and friends. But that's about it, really. I'm ready to
How's
get
it?
racing.
What do you usually do? What's a day in the life of Cameron look like?
Ooh, ooh, man. I mean, it's
Pre
different every day.
pre coronavirus.
All right, I'd say I I work with trainer Dialed Health. I go to him in the morning, 2 days a week, and then fit in a couple like a bike ride here or there, some Xbox, some moto, um, taking care of my property a little bit, getting on my mower. Uh, Not much, honestly, man. I'm kind of boring.
Yeah. So you do all the mowing yourself, or you hire somebody?
No, okay, so I just got I got a little Kubota, like the zero turn thing, and dude, that's like just as fun as riding motorcycles. It does wheelies and everything. The thing rips. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about the
Yeah.
zero turn motors. And then I have someone like a gardener take care of like the nice stuff around the house, and I do all like the field mowing.
The hard stuff. You got somebody to come do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Does it change your approach to the season? Like, not usually, during the off season, you're training for something. You know when you start, and you can mentally prepare for it. But now it's
Yeah,
like
no,
you don't know.
exactly. That's why it's been so weird, man. It's like I feel like I'm the kind of guy I have to have like a date to look forward to something, right? Like something to work towards. Um, and yeah, it's kind of I mean, I haven't really been riding a ton of like bicycles and stuff like that for training the last I don't know, I said the last year or anything like that, and that definitely didn't help the fact. But other than that, like I just love going out and just riding motocross and stuff like that. And for me, that's a big training tool. I know it was for it was for you, and it is for you guys over there in Owensboro. And yeah, you know how it is going and riding motocross and putting in your motos and stuff like that. So that didn't really change or anything like that. But I'm definitely ready to get racing. Like I'm itching to go. I'm excited they finally announced Road America is going to happen. So it's time to go.
Uh, and you say that about motocross bikes. One reason why I always liked it so much was you always had to stay focused, kind of like mountain bikes. You had to focus the whole time. Where guys who just, when I go ride a road bike, sometimes I'll catch myself, you know, in La La
Just
Land. And that's why,
daydreaming.
yeah. So I think you're right. I think motocross bikes is one of the best ways because you got to remember what ruts changing and all that
Yep.
stuff. So you have to think the whole time you're riding.
Yeah, and the track, the cool thing about motocross too is the track, like when you start the day, it's all smooth, and then by the end of the day, it's all rough, and like your lines are changing through the entire day, and you just got like every time you go out, it's almost a new track, especially when there's a handful of people there roughing up the track. I love it, man. It's pretty cool too. I'm lucky the tracks we have up here, like Hangtown and East Street and Riverfront. They're all run by Zeb Armstrong Rep Racing, and he does a really good job like keeping everything going. And everything's pretty safe for the most part. There's like, and during the week too, when I get to ride during the week, there's like barely anyone at the track. It's like it's a bunch of vet guys, so it's pretty nice. The weekends get pretty crazy, but like I just love it. I love motocross.
What about your this year? You're still a Yamaha factory rider, but it's a different team. Is there much? Is the bike a lot different than your previous R1, or is it kind of the same?
It's actually surprisingly a lot different. Um, Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I remember I rode when I did that wild card in 2016 on the Pata bike. Like I was shocked on how different like an R1 can be, because like yeah, it's an R1, but with super bikes you can pretty much do anything. Just the way just the way like you sit on the bike, like how different it feels just when the gas tank's shaped a little bit different, and like and the way the rear tail section is, and there's just so much to it, electronics and all that. But I feel like we're in a pretty good spot. I rode it for the first time at Button Willow at the end of last year, and I was pretty shocked on how good just like the electronics were right out of the gate. Um, there was obviously some stuff that I loved about my bike. I've been riding the thing for I don't know the past since 2015. But some of the stuff Richard's done with that thing is pretty impressive. Just like how he's kind of changed the weight of the bike, the weight distribution of the bike, like running the tank or the gas under the tank and just getting the center of gravity a little lower. Just a bunch of little things. Uh, it's just a different out on how to up the bike. So it's been pretty cool to work with him. I'm gonna miss Hobbs. Hobbs he's a legend in our sport. It's pretty cool. I'm super lucky I got to work with him. Obviously it was his last year. So but yeah, it's kind of just like a new chapter, same goal type of thing. I'm still working with quite a few of the same guys, and added some new ones, so it'll be cool.
You got a new crew chief, Richard. What about him? You like working with him, or is it just kind of the same thing? You got to learn a new bike. You got to learn a new crew chief. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's changed. I don't think people realize when you're with a guy like Rick Hobbs for so long, and not only just Yamaha, because you were in the Yamaha family before that, riding the 600, so you already knew everybody. Now this year, I know some of the same guys switched over, but that's a lot of new faces for you this year.
It is definitely, yeah, a lot of new faces, but like I'm excited for it. It's just kind of like a fresh start, fresh step. The 2020 R1 is a little bit better in some of the areas we've been struggling in, so hopefully, hopefully it's better. You never know. Like, you know how it is. Like testing in the off season, you're feeling good, everything's fine. Like you're only riding with like a handful of guys, or even just yourself, and you come into the season with this confidence, and then when it comes racing, it's just a complete different story. Like it's just different once you get to the races. But yeah, it's gonna be good. Just like I said, you know how it is. You've been there with like crew chiefs and stuff like that. Like I could come into the pits, and like just by my face, like Rick would know exactly what I'm unhappy about or happy about, or he could just read me, So that's just what happens when you work with a guy for that long. And we built a really, really good relationship. And and I think so far so good with Richard. He's super smart, and some of the stuff that he can do with electronics is really impressive. And so far it's been really good. Just the couple tests we've done, and we've actually ridden a decent amount this off season, which I was pretty happy about. But now it's been months since I've been on the bike. We were like ready to go, like I was just itching to go racing at the barber test, and then all of a sudden, like this whole Corona thing hits, and it just puts everything into a stall. But I'm just ready to get going.
Are y'all gonna be able to, whenever the season does get started, are y'all gonna try to test before then? I mean, is there even an opportunity to ride your bike before the season, or is it gonna be maybe this long break and then first race?
Yeah, I know. I think we're going to try to get out to Button Willow for a day before the race, just to kind of shake some things out and just get some time on the bike, because honestly, I need it before we show up to MotoAmerica. So it'll all work out, though. It'll be good.
That's one thing, too, because this year there could be, I mean, nobody knows the schedule, but there could be less races. You don't know. So previously, some years you kind of started a little slow, and then you would make a run at the end of the year. So this year, if there's less races, you know, you really can't be spotting anybody the first couple races.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, for whatever reason, the last handful of seasons I have like started out slow and just kind of like started chipping away. But this year or last year was different. Like I came out and I was able to win the first race at Road Atlanta, and I was like, man, like this is gonna be a good season, you know. And then I kind of got in like a slump. It was like the opposite of what normally happens. So yeah, I got in like kind of just like a mid season, early season slump, and then Garrett started going fast, and he kind of kicked my butt back into shape. And yeah, it was a funky season last year, man. But yeah, when everything kind of when the stars aligned, they aligned at the right time. They're right at the end at Barber. It was definitely like a roller coaster of a season, though.
Who's the biggest threat this year to take the number one plate away?
Man, I'd say you can't bet against Tony. Like
Agreed.
yeah, he's so strong, and I know that obviously there's been a lot of changes kind of on both sides, on Yamaha and Suzuki side. Um, but I'm pretty sure they have pretty much the same package as they did last year. And man, he's going to be tough to beat when he's on. You know, when he's on, he's on. He's one of the toughest competitors that I've ever raced against. So we definitely got to be ready for it.
Who would you
There's
say?
other guys though too, like Bob coming up. Jake Gagne, my teammate, he's been pretty fast in testing and stuff. I think Kyle Wyman will sneak in there. Yeah, there's gonna be Matty Schultz. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be tough.
Who's been your biggest rival since you're? I mean, I'm talking since you were a kid. Who's been the guy that's cost you the most sleep?
Man, coming up, I would say that's a tough one, man. I would say lately Gerloff. Like he came on really strong at the end of the year, and I've always known. Like, I mean, we used to live together. We've been friends. We signed on at the same time in 2012 together, and we were pretty close when we first signed on, and we both had some injuries. I was able to come back sooner than he was, and I remember Tommy filled in for him that year, and I learned a lot from Tommy, and it was really cool being teammates with him. But yeah, like when Garrett got back on the bike, like he was always right there behind me, like pretty much our entire career. And then he gets on the Superbike. I remember, I'm sure you do too, at Barber, that first test we did, the official MotoAmerica test. Like, I think I ended up getting them by like half a tenth or something at the end of the test, but like I could not believe how fast he was the first time on the bike. Or the first official test. So, and then he had kind of some growing pains on the Superbike and threw it down a little bit a couple times, just like kind of everyone does. And then last year he came on really, really strong, and yeah, like it was impressive. But at the same time, like it was good for me because it kind of kicked me into second gear type of thing, and we were able to finish the season out strong together. So it was good.
What about everybody always asks and everybody always wonders about, when's Cameron going to go to World Superbike or when's Cameron going to go to MotoGP? Is that something that you really want to do, or is it something that's just, if a great deal comes, you'll take it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. The bottom line is like, I love racing motorcycles, and motorcycles are my life. It's my family's life. It's like it's all I know, really. But like at the end of the day, we're trying to make a living at it, and I feel like I have too good of an opportunity here with Yamaha and like how well they've taken care of me in the past here to give that up. I'm getting paid good. I get to go home after every race, and I love my life outside of racing. Like spending time with my family and friends, and being home and stuff like that. And yeah, I feel like just right now, like I'm in a good spot here. And if there wasn't, I do though. Like I do want to go race, the best guys in Europe and stuff like that. But it's tough to give up what I have here to go over there for something that like you're unsure about. Like a team that isn't it's not on the best bike type of thing. You've been there, like you know how it is. It's not all glamour. I love living in America. I love being an American and stuff like that. But if the right opportunity presented itself in the next couple of years, I would love to. And it is crazy though, man. Like all of a sudden I'm 27 and I'm just like, whoa, like I'm
snuck up on you, huh?
Yeah, it's weird. I'm not like old by any means, but it's just like, what the heck, dude?
It flies by, man. That's no doubt. I couldn't. When they told me I'd been 20 years professional, I mean, I just felt like I just started. I mean, it was over so quick.
Yeah, it's great. How old were you when you did that World Superbike year?
It was 2010, so I'm not sure.
I was 10 years ago.
I was about your age. Yeah, I was about your age because I'm coming up on 37. But I know what you're saying because you did Red Bull Rookies, and it wasn't that great, I would say. You didn't have a great time, and what people don't realize is, besides that, but whenever you're across the pond and you have a bad race and a bad weekend and you just want to get away, there's no family around. There's no, I'll be home tomorrow to see the family. It's like it really can play in your mind to remember whenever, you was over there before and it was miserable.
Yeah, exactly. Like I did the Rookies Cup with JD in like 2007, and Chris Turner was over there too, and so it was kind of cool. Like I had JD over there, and I had Norm Viano, and my mom would come over with us, and so like, I mean, I was so young at the time. I was like 14, and I had a good support system over there, and then I won a race and got some podiums in the Rookies Cup, and then moved up to the academy, the Red Bull Academy, and that's when I lived in Spain and raced in CEV, did the 125 stuff in the Spanish Championship, and then after that I did the 1 year of the 125 GPs with Red Bull KTM when I was teammates with Marquez, and I didn't have any money to fly back home or anything, so I based up. I was super lucky to base up with Johnny Russell and his family in Barcelona, and I kind of bounced around. I stayed at Jonas Folger's house a little bit in Germany. I stayed with Casey Stoner a little bit when he was living in Switzerland, and it started out like not too bad. Like I was around people I knew and I was comfortable with. It's not your family, but it's like your extended family, your kind of racing family at the time. And then that was the year Casey got really sick, and yeah, him and Adriano, like they kind of like helped me out and took care of me over there. So when he went back to Australia to get better, I was just kind of just bouncing around trying to figure out how to get to the airport, and just like, I don't know, it was just it was a weird deal. And I was 16, I was just young, and I wasn't really just focusing on racing. Like I feel like if I had that chance back, I'd definitely do it a little different. But yeah, it's just learning lessons. So definitely, like if I go back, I know what to do different and how to prepare and stuff like that. But yeah, it is tough. I feel like Europe's awesome. Like Europe's great, but every time I go to Europe, I feel like I'm super grateful for what I have back here at home. I'm just like America.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. And like even seeing my brother Nicky go through it, and like you said, it's not all what it's cracked up to be. People think that You know, you get to go see all these different countries, all these different cities. You're not going sightseeing. You go there to see a racetrack, and then you see an airplane,
Yeah,
and you go home.
exactly. Exactly. You're not wasting, especially at the time too. You're like, I'm 16 years old. I don't care about going and seeing no freaking church or some, I don't know.
You wasn't taking photos.
No. I wish I did a little bit more of that now. You know, I'm getting up there. So,
You got about 10 years before you catch me.
oh man.
All right, we got some fan questions for you here. Uh, Rick Hance wants to know the most memorable battle between us. So, what was your most memorable battle with me?
I'm probably Indy.
I was thinking the same
we've
thing.
had a lot of good races together, like especially with Tony dive bombing us and Hayes, like we've had some awesome battles together. But I would say Indy because I remember being so frustrated that like I qualified like a second ahead and I was like, man, it's gonna be some good races. And like sure enough, like you're right there the whole race and we're battling and I think it ended up getting red flagged and
It did.
the race like you led the last lap or something, or maybe they reverted back a lap.
They went back like one guy didn't cross the finish line, so they kind of went back like 2 laps. And that lap you was in the lead. So
I got lucky on that one, but I remember I made Hobbs grenade a stopwatch, and that was like one of like maybe 2 he's done like the whole time we were together. So
I would say that year we had a good battle at Laguna, and and I was also thinking about the year at Indy, but I didn't want my most memorable race to be both times I got second barely. So I was going to go back to Barber 2016 when I won the first Superbike race. I don't know. I just remember I won, so I'm going to go back to that one for me.
Yeah, that was good.
Michael Hill wants to know, do you remember your first paddock show at Donington, and explain?
Yeah, I do. I remember I was like standing up on the stage like sweating because he was telling me that like all like the new wild card riders he makes them sing. Like he makes them sing karaoke. And I was like, dude, like I'm not about to sing karaoke in front of all these people right now.
All right, Cam, I appreciate the time, and we'll talk to you later, my man. I appreciate it, and good luck this season. Stay safe.
All right, thanks for having me on, Raj.